Welcome back to the ToolScouter shop. It is a beautiful day to be in the shop, and I don't know when there's a bad day to be in the shop. But thanks for coming by. I have a video today that I wanted to do. In fact, several people have asked about my Norland axes and why I collected them and how I got into collecting them. And so I thought I would take some time to go through the Norland axes that are on the wall, and even a couple here that are not on the wall, and explain to you a little bit about them, what it is that I know about them, and how I got involved with them. The first axe that I ever had that was a Norland was this one right here. This is the one that started it all for me. I was in Bainbridge, Ohio, and there was a sign to an antique store. And I went to this antique store and it was just full. It was an old barn is what it was. And that old barn was just full of stuff. I won't call it junk, but it was old stuff. And it was so much fun to look through, and it wasn't a huge barn except that it had been added on to about 4 or 5 times. It did have a loft, so there was an upstairs, and it was just fun to look through, and there was just piles of stuff everywhere. And from what I understand, the family, and unfortunately anymore, it doesn't exist. It's all been torn down, everything's been taken out of there. But there in Bainbridge, Ohio, I was looking through the stuff, and right at the entrance to the barn was a stump with an anvil on it, and on that stump were 2 axe heads. And I don't remember which the other axe head was, but this was one of the axe heads there. I paid $8 for one and $5 for the other, and I can't even remember how much this one was that I paid for because I couldn't even read it. It was so rusty and in such bad condition. Now, if you'll notice, and I don't know if this is indicative of the later models, but see that insignia of the Norland, the imprint, is not very deep. And so it was hard to tell what this was, and it wasn't until I got home and looked up, cleaned this up, put this handle on it, and I love the 24-inch handle. And it turned out so nicely, just feels so good in the hands, such a nice weight, that I started doing some research on it and found out exactly what this was. And it turns out that Norland was started by the Canadian Tire Company, and they commissioned Manage Tool Company to make a series of sportsman's axe. And you won't find very many Norlands in the Forest Service because they didn't make the large Forest Service axes like this True Temper right here. They just didn't make them. There was only 1 or 2 of them that were really large axes. Most of the rest of them were smaller sportsman's axes. And this is my favorite brand and my favorite model. This is the Canadian model of axe. And I want to show you here, I have this one, which was the first one, and this one here was the second one I got, and I put a 20-inch handle on this one. I like this model so much that I ended up getting another one and putting a straight handle on it. This is the one that I take out in the woods with me. I put a straight handle on it because it's just as easy to swing with the bit side or to turn it around and pound wedges with it. Some people would consider it a little bit light. It's a 2-pound head, a little bit light for pounding, but I found that it's been really a nice little axe. So I've really enjoyed using it, and it has just turned out wonderfully. I made this an octagonal handle. It's very comfortable, plus it's quick to orient in your hand for whichever it is that you're wanting to get done. Then I got another one, put another 24-inch curved handle on it, and you'll see this is more of an arch. It's a little bit different. I was experimenting with this one, and I like the way it feels. It swings really nice. But this one here I haven't done a whole lot with because it's got the Japanning still on there, and so I've left it. I don't know if I'm going to take that off or not, but I have left this one. I'm presuming this one had the least amount of work that somebody's done with it because it's in really good shape. And then the last one I got was this head, and I put a 28-inch handle on it, and this one is really nice. So you can tell that my favorite model is the Canadian because I've got 5 of them. But let me go through here on the wall and show you some of the others that I have. So this one here is the Voyager, and it's the little hatchet. I don't know if they make a smaller one than this, but this one here is very, very small. And I'll try to remember to go and look up all of these videos, because each of these have their own video, and I'll put those in the description if you want to take a closer look at them and get all of the specs that I put in there. I can't remember what the weight is on this head. It's only like a pound or pound and a quarter, if any of that. But this is the little Voyager, and I think it's a cute little hatchet, and I can imagine it would be quite useful just to have it as a belt axe and be able to hang it on your belt. Then there is another one that is a Norland, and that's this rock hammer. I picked up the rock hammer. I do like it. I like the way it looks. I think it is cool, but I picked it up basically because it was a Norland, and they're not inexpensive. They are very collectible, and so I went ahead and picked it up as part of the collection. I do not have all of the Norland collection. There are still a lot of them that I don't have. Then I want to bring you over here. Let's take you over here, and I want to show you the next one. We have that small Voyager. We have this 2-pound Canadian, and then we have this 2.5 pound, which is the camper axe. Now, if you'll notice on that Voyager, that is a true Hudson Bay pattern. They're very narrow, the Hudson Bay. And according to what I have heard and what I understand, this was basically a design that Norland did with Sportsman's, and Sportsman wanted more, a little bit wider, longer eye, because the more contact of wood you have to metal, the easier it is to make a good solid hook up there with the head and the wood. And so this one is the camper axe. It's the 2.5 pound, and as you can see, it's the straight handle, and it works really, really well. Now I want to come back over here. We have the 2 pound and the 2.5 pound, and this here is the 3 pound cabin axe. It's got the phantom bevels you can see on there, and I got this a while back on eBay, and I mean, there is no, doesn't look like there's any pounding. There was no mushrooming of this pole. It was in beautiful condition except for all of the pitting, but it's turned out to be a really neat part of the collection. It's hard to see it, but you can see where it says Norland right there. And so I do have a video on this as well, and I'll try to remember to put that one up. And this is the 3 pound that they made for as a cabin axe, and that's the model that it is. Now we come back here to the middle of the wall, and this is a Norland, and it's a 3.5 pound head. Very similar to the previous one, but not quite the same transition right here. And to tell you the truth, I have not been able to find what model this is. It is a 3.5 pound head. We weighed it. I'll show you on the, or if you want to watch the video, you can check that out. It's a beautiful little axe and works wonderfully, but I cannot find what the model is. Somebody suggested it was the log splitter, but the problem is this one over here is actually the log splitter, and we'll go to that one next. So this one here is what I think is the biggest one they make. I'm not really sure about that, but this is the log splitter is the model name, and it is a lot of fun to use. I think I still have to admit, as much as I like this, I have to admit I like a maul better than a splitting axe, but if you've got nice straight grain, this is just fun to swing. I think it's only 4.5, 4.75 pounds, but it is just a really nice tool, and it's the largest of the Norlands that I own. And then the very last one that I have is this little 3 pound maul. And I think it's just cute. It's a beautiful little tool. I think I mentioned in the video when I redid this, in fact, when I say redid it, I haven't done anything to this. I didn't want to modify it or change it at all. This is the way it came, And I think, in fact, from what I understand, they're really quite rare. And I was very fortunate. I think I got it for right around $100 and on eBay. So I was really happy with that. Still has the original sticker, original handle. Everything about it looks really good. And so I was very fortunate. I feel very fortunate and felt like, in fact, in the video I say I hit the jackpot with it. And all the original finish, it looks like it hasn't been, there's no scratches of any indication that it was ever used at all. No pounding on the head. I think I did clean up the pole a little bit because it looked like it had been struck against some plaster or some rock or something, but there's no misshaping of the pole, and this thing just turned out beautifully. So guys, that's my Norland collection. In fact, as I was just setting up for this clip to wrap up this video, I noticed I usually try to frame this clip, the end of my videos, with these two axes. This one up here, which is the Norland cabin, and this one over here, which happens to be the Norland, the more Norland log splitters. So I guess I'm always framing this wrap up of my videos between those two axes. But it's been a lot of fun to collect these. It's been a lot of fun to share this with you. And I don't know if you've ever even heard of the brand. I'm not sure if there are that many people that are interested in it. From what I understand, it was started in 1968, and the company went out of business in 1986. But they made some good quality tools that came out of Man-Edge Tool Company in Lewiston, Pennsylvania. And I have, just because of finding that at a flea market, I'm now always on the lookout for them. I only have about half of the models that they put out. Most of the models, a lot of the models I should say, were made in the Hudson Bay pattern, like the little small one, and I don't have very many of those. So in the future I'll be looking for those, but they tend to go for a little bit more money. What's neat is the Canadian's my favorite model, and it's usually the least expensive, unless it's in really good shape with a handle. Then it can go up over $100, but usually you can pick them up for anywhere from $50 to $70. I don't think I paid more than $70 with shipping on any of mine, but that's been a while back now. So guys, once again, thanks for sharing this with me and allowing me to come in and share it with you. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give us a thumbs up. And if you know somebody else that enjoys this kind of content, please send them the link. And if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. We're trying to grow the channel and always looking forward to having new people join the community. And I hope you'll be back to see me on the next one when we're doing a tool or messing around some more here in the shop. Once again, thank you so much. I hope you have a great day. God bless.